Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics. Young and the Restless spoilers January 7th. Nikki has a new partner in crime. Victor beware Diane. Has a warning for Jack. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, January 7th, are a twisted tangle of dueling agendas, as Nikki turns to Michael for help with Victor's evil, while Diane is fed up with Jack trusting his ex-wife. Key takeaways: will Nikki finally turn on Victor? Diane needs Jack to let go. Lily confuses Kane. Next on Y&R Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott told Victor Eric Bredin she'd leave him if he didn't destroy the computer program he wanted to use to bankrupt Jabao. But then Victor gave her an expensive bauble and whimpered about how he was a poor orphan boy. Did Nikki know about that? He hardly ever mentions it. Nikki folded and came back home, cooing how much she loved Victor. Well, new year, new Nikki. She turns to Michael Christian LeBlanc for help with saving Victor from himself. Because if there's anyone who knows how much Victor appreciates being looked out for, it's Michael. Cutting loose Jack. Peter Bergman has put up with a lot from Diane, Susan Walters. You know, the whole faking her death thing. However, Diane has put up with a lot from Jack as well. You know, the whole thing about constantly running to Nikki. Well, Diane has finally had enough. It's obvious Nikki will always put Victor ahead of Jack. So, can he please stop trusting that she will ever help them and cut her loose? Then make a real self-defense plan. Kiss Cam. Lily Crystal Khalil rejected Kane. Billy Flynn. Lily kissed Kane. This happened multiple times, not always in the same order. We understand why Kane is confused. We're confused, too. Does Lily want him? Does she want to play Kane? Does she want to stick it to Phyllis Michelle Stafford, who is taking a big break? Lily can play games with Kane. But it sure would be nice if viewers could see what she was after, so we'd know whether to root for her or not. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. There are few things more dangerous in Genoa City than Nikki Newman when she stops asking for permission. For decades, Nikki has been portrayed as Victor Newman's moral counterweight, his conscience, his emotional anchor, and occasionally, his accomplice. But the Young and the Restless spoilers for January 7 hint at something far more intriguing and far more unsettling for Victor. Nikki has found herself a new partner in crime. This isn't about rebellion for rebellion's sake. This is about evolution. And if Victor Newman underestimates what Nikki is capable of when she operates independently or worse, strategically aligned with someone outside his control, he may be setting himself up for one of the most painful wake-up calls of his life. Nikki Newman's quiet transformation. Nikki's growth on Y&R has been gradual, but unmistakable. She's no longer content to be the supportive spouse who smooths over Victor's messes. She's watched him manipulate, dominate, and dictate outcomes for decades, and she's paid the emotional price every time. What makes this spoiler compelling is not just that Nikki has a partner, but that she chose one. Choice is power, and Nikki is finally claiming hers. Why Victor should be worried? Very worried. Victor Newman understands enemies. He understands betrayal. What he doesn't always understand is independence. When it comes from the woman he assumes will always prioritize loyalty over autonomy. Nikki, operating with a partner outside Victor's influence, means Victor isn't controlling the narrative, isn't dictating the strategy. Victor may not even know the full scope of the plan. That loss of oversight is Victor's Achilles heel. He doesn't fear Nick's anger, he fears her clarity. A partner in crime doesn't mean criminal, it means strategic. A phrase partner in crime doesn't necessarily suggest illegal activity. On Y&R, it often signals shared secrets, coordinated moves, and mutual leverage. This partnership likely thrives on trust without romantic entanglement, shared motivation, a willingness to challenge Victor's authority, and that's what makes it powerful. Unlike Victor's alliances, which often hinge on fear or obligation, Nikki's partnerships are rooted in intention. Why Nikki's timing is no accident. Nikki doesn't act impulsively. When she moves, it's after careful observation and emotional exhaustion. This moment has been brewing. Victor's relentless power plays his disregard for fallout, his assumption that Nikki will always fall in line. The spoiler suggests Nikki has reached a threshold, one where patience gives way to action, and once Nikki crosses that line, she doesn't look back. Victor's blind spot. He underestimates Nikki's strategic mind. Victor has always viewed Nikki as emotional rather than tactical. That perception has allowed her to move quietly, listen carefully, and observe patterns without being suspected. Now, those observations are becoming weapons. With a partner who complements her insight, Nikki becomes exponentially more dangerous. She knows Victor's habits, his tells, his pressure points. And she knows exactly when to strike. The emotional fallout. Victor never anticipates if Victor discovers Nikki's alliance after the fact. The betrayal will cut deeper than any corporate loss ever could. Why? Because Victor doesn't just rely on Nikki emotionally, he relies on her alignment. He assumes she's part of his inner circle by default. This spoiler threatens that assumption. Victor may soon realize that loyalty isn't permanent and that control is not the same as love. Nikki's partner, mirror or counterbalance. Whoever Nikki's new partner is, they serve a crucial narrative role. They reflect what Nikki needs right now. Whether that partner is a trusted confidante, fellow victim of Victor's machinations, someone with their own agenda. The key factor is independence. This isn't a subordinate relationship, it's a collaboration. That alone changes the power dynamic. How? This could shift the Newman family balance. Victor's authority over his family has always been reinforced by Nikki's support. Remove or fracture that support, and the entire structure wobbles. Nick may feel emboldened. Victoria may reassess her own position. Adam may see opportunity. Nikki's move isn't just personal, it's seismic. The rinse take. Nikki Newman is no longer playing defense at the rinse. We see this spoiler as a turning point for Nikki Newman. She's no longer reacting to Victor's choices, she's making her own. And that's what should terrify Victor Newman. Because Nikki doesn't need to destroy him to hurt him. She just needs to remind him that she is not his equal. Why this storyline feels long overdue. Has spent years cleaning up Victor's messes and absorbing emotional fallout. Watching her finally step into strategic autonomy isn't shocking, it's earned. This partnership represents growthogenesis for respect. It signals a Nikki who refuses to be sidelined any longer. What happens when Victor loses his moral anchor? Victor has always justified his worst actions by claiming he was protecting his family with Nikki as proof of that righteousness. If Nikki steps away from that role, Victor loses more than a partner. He loses his narrative. And in Genoa City, narrative is power. Final thoughts. Victor, beware bait, 'cause Nikki knows you too well. The January 7th spoilers promise a Nikki Newman who isn't asking permission, seeking approval, or playing peacemaker. She's aligning, she's strategizing, she's choosing herself. And if Victor Newman doesn't see the danger in that, it won't be because Nikki blindsided him, it'll be because he never believed she'd stop standing beside him and start standing on her own.